we'll move on down to Europe and what is going on in Europe. I mean, I've been talking about for a while now about how Europe is struggling. It's just not really getting out there in the news, but Germany has been. So you've got a few things to tell us here about Daniel about the German economy, what's going to happen.
Yeah, well,
Has
so
happened
I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's not looking too good.
for a
So
while now. Yes.
yeah, so earlier this week they voted, which I assume is kind of like impeaching. They had a vote of no confidence for their chancellor. So that person is on their way out, and they'll elect a new person. And they're Europe's largest economy, but their unemployment is at a 4-year high, which is pretty bad if you're like, the one kind of supporting the EU. Their energy costs have surged by 40% since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Volkswagen I believe they're shutting down all their plants in Germany.
I don't
And
think it
then,
was all of
they
them.
also, sorry.
I didn't think it was all of them, but I knew they were
I thought
closing
they
at least
just
one or
want.
two of them.
I thought it was
the
mostly
worst one.
job cuts at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just job cuts.
Yeah.
But they, not good when that's your main export is like cars, as
Yep.
a country. And then, now they have to deal with Trump's potential tariffs, which, would really hurt them because they export cars. So yeah, like the big dog in the EU is really hurting, and I guess it's not looking good.
Well, before all this, there was they also had a real estate issue as well, and it may still be out there. I don't know. I haven't looked it up again, but I remember bringing that up many months ago that Germany's having a real estate issue. So now I think it's just everything is just starting to, well, they're admitting it finally. Everything is going down because they can't admit it too early because of the contagion throughout the world. But they're starting to hear more and more about the world having their issues, and maybe this whole new 2025 will reveal things that uh, a lot of us already suspected, but now can be released for people to do. So we can have that volatility again, Royce.
Hey, we love volatility. Volatility makes
That's
the
right.
world go round.
That's right. So anything there, Mr. Banker, or your thoughts on Europe and basically the world economy?
No, I mean, I guess, world economy, yeah, sure. We circle back to like we were talking about with the emerging markets.
Right.
There's a lot of things that we have similarities. I mean, I think globally, everybody is kind of struggling with a lot of the same things, coming off like the pandemic and fighting inflation. And I mean, every country followed the US's lead, maybe not on the same timeline, but did essentially the same things. So we're all kind of in the same bucket. The one thing I do almost disagree with the doom and gloom over Europe is the fact that I think that Europe has more of a similar infrastructure that the US has to actually withstand the times of turmoil and things like that. Whereas what is causing the dollar or what's helping the surge in the dollar and what's hurting a lot of these emerging markets is they don't have the same infrastructure because it's the same problem that every emerging market has is they don't have the infrastructure. They can't really sustain that kind of turmoil, and we're all dealing with the same thing. It's just Europe, I think, is going to be fine. Like the US is going to be fine, but a lot of these smaller, China's probably going to be fine, although they're dealing with a lot of different issues. But yeah, some of these emerging markets are going to struggle, and it's going to fizzle out, and you're not going to have that capital injection or the capital inflows like you are with the dollar, because everybody's pulling them out of those those smaller markets, and the dollar seems stronger, and the returns and everything, and with interest rates, and it's just I don't think that Europe's really in any significant danger. I think they have what it takes to withstand all of it. Same as we do. And I think that's kind of where we're seeing all of that money move is into more of a stable market and stable dollars. And, the euro is going to be fine. But
well, I've got two things. One thing would be inflation. And the second is the debt that we still have, our national debt. And both of those things are going to have a reckoning at some point. And it's,
So
I
what's
know
a
that you don't
reckoning?
believe that.
What's a reckoning for you?
A reckoning is that people are actually going to start asking for their money. I mean, it's not going to be I want my money now. When people start getting in a situation where they're fighting over dollars that's theirs that they've loaned out and they want it back now, then once that domino happens, I think that's going to be the reckoning that I'm talking about. You
Okay,
can't just